Hey everyone, Baker Beltz here. In this video, I'll be reviewing the latest offering from iAwake Technologies entitled Help for the Times in Which We Live. This actually isn't a new release, but a bundle of pre-existing iAwake tracks, which buying it as a bundle, you save a ton of money. So it comes with HeartWave, the releasing tracks from the Pure Meditation program, uh, Solar Infusion, and Refuge. I'll start the review by going over the tracks I'm already intimately familiar with. Then I'll discuss the tracks that I'm just getting myself acquainted with for the first time. So let's start with HeartWave. HeartWave was created by the pioneer Eric Thompson. It utilizes a specialized technique of biofield entrainment that he invented, which gently guides your consciousness into a state of heart coherence. Like somehow the frequencies interact with your heart and it just like brings you into that state of perfect peace and calm. I've personally been using HeartWave for several years now. I bought it back even before I became an affiliate, just when I was a huge fan of the products. It's unbelievable. Definitely one of my favorite tracks in the iAwake library. The track, among other things, connects you with the universal centering energy, what in biogeometry is called BG3. This is a sort of like solar enlivening energy, and it perfectly centers your system. It's unbelievable. I personally listen to this track whenever I need to recharge because BG3 has a really renewing quality to it. Um, there are 3 tracks in HeartWave, and they're each about 20 minutes long. The first 2 tracks contain music, and then the 3rd track is just the sound of ocean surf with the entrainment frequencies. I use the ocean surf track the most frequently. Headphones are recommended, but the biofield energies seem to work with or without headphones. I sometimes put the ocean surf track on repeat through a Bluetooth speaker in my room and just leave it on in the background while I'm going about my daily business and work and whatever I'm doing. Just have it in the background for those frequencies. Um, the effect of the tracks is really similar to what you experience when you practice heart coherence meditations. But unlike practicing heart coherence meditation, the frequencies of the tracks kind of help you hold that state without you having to consciously focus on it. I've used these tracks dozens of times over the last several years, and I continue to use them on a regular basis. So, yeah, Heartwave, one of the tracks included in this help collection, and probably, mm, yeah, I don't know. I'd say it's probably among the most helpful tracks in the whole collection, especially that ocean surf track. Also included in the collection are the releasing tracks from their flagship product, Pure Meditation Program 2.0. So the releasing tracks are they're in the alpha and theta range. And in the context of the Pure Meditation Program, there are the tracks that you listen to that are a little bit gentler. So if you need a break between really hardcore meditation sessions, these are the tracks you would listen to. Releasing track 1 is my absolute favorite track from the entire Pure Meditation collection. I've listened to it many, many times. The biofield energies in that particular track just feel amazing, and they stick with you for hours after the meditation is over. They're seriously like magic. I don't know exactly what makes them work, only that you feel like really good when you listen to them. Releasing track 1 entrains to the alpha range, which is incredibly relaxing. Relax, yeah. Releasing tracks 2 and 3, I don't use quite as often. They entrain to slightly lower frequencies in the theta range. Um, it's pretty good pick me up though in the middle of the day, especially releasing track 1, but also before bed, if you just wanna wind down at the end of the day, it's good for that too. Between HeartWave and the releasing tracks, those 2 alone justify the price of the collection, in my opinion. But the collection also comes with 2 other iAwake releases, Solar Infusion and Refuge. These particular tracks are new to me, so in the course of preparing this review, I thought I would write my initial reactions as I was listening to them. So I wrote this down before I recorded it, so I'm just reading my reactions here, but, I'll start out with what my first reactions with Solar Infusion were. There is a distinctly solar energy to this track. With my psychic senses, I can feel my aura being saturated with what feels kinda like a deep orange glowing energy. It doesn't feel exactly like BG3. Like, when I look at BG3 with my third eye, it kinda has, like, a golden quality to it, but the energy in this track is different. It's like a deep orange, but you can very distinctly feel the signature of the sun if you, know what that signature feels like. The entrainment is set to 8 hertz, which is approximately the Schumann resonance, which is the electromagnetic heartbeat of the Earth, and that is in the theta range. I felt distinctly relaxed when I was listening to it, but I didn't experience any of the hypnagogic type like visuals that I normally get when listening to a theta track, but I could distinctly feel the energy of the Schumann resonance. I personally have a tuning fork that's tuned to the Schumann resonance that I use in meditation, and I get the same sort of energy from this track that I get from using that tuning fork, but it's mixed with that orange solar energy that I was talking about, and I'm not exactly sure how I feel about that. Esoterically, it creates the same harmonic as a major third in a musical chord, so I can see how it would be, slightly uplifting. It's like a mixture of orange and green energy when I look at it clairvoyantly. The music is nice, it's nothing exceptional, kinda your standard fair meditation music, but it is pleasant. It appears to be tuned to the key of C, which is a vibrant and uplifting key of music. So it matches what the intention of the track is, which is to be kind of like a little bit of a pick me up. I imagine it would be a pretty good track if you're feeling a little down, just to give you a little boost of energy. But yeah, those were my first impressions of Solar Infusion. Next, I'll talk about Refuge. There's 2 tracks in here, and both are in the upper alpha range. One track entrains you to 12 hertz, and the other track entrains you to 14 hertz. The music of these tracks was composed by a woman named Nadja Lind. She's the same composer as the Diamond Cave tracks that I made a review for a month or 2 ago. I'll leave a link to that review in the description if you're interested. But let's start off with the 12 hertz track. My initial reactions was I really liked the music. It was very soothing. It appears to be set to the key of D. D is a relatively stimulating key, but not quite as stimulating as the key of C. It's mercurial in nature, so I imagine this track would be pretty good for study sessions, especially since 12 hertz is in the upper alpha range, which from personal experimentation, I found that the upper alpha range is great for like super learning and focusing on whatever you need to focus on. The entrainment feels pretty good. I felt really relaxed and euphoric like within minutes of starting it. And then here's what I wrote. Wow, yeah. At the moment I'm writing this review, I'm only 7 minutes into the track, and I'm feeling it quite strongly. This is definitely one I'll be returning to in the future. The 12 hertz track is about 20 minutes long. And then after I listened to that, I listened to the 14 hertz track, which is about 30 minutes long. So you get to rest in it a little bit longer. I pretty instantly felt a difference in the entrainment in the track. The 14 hertz frequency is pretty close to the waking beta state, so the track felt a little bit more alert. And my first thoughts were it would probably be even better than the 12 hertz track for learning. I could hear some nature sounds in the background, and the description of the audio says that this induces an ASMR response. I didn't personally get an ASMR response, but some people might. The energy is distinctly different. It's still in the key of D like the first track, but clairvoyantly, it felt like a cooler energy. I was seeing a lot of greens and blues with my third eye. Those were my initial thoughts, and then I decided to listen to the rest of the track before completing the review. So, a little while later, I continued with the review. And this is what I wrote. This is pretty great. I personally like the 12 hertz track better, but both tracks are good. So yeah, that about covers what's in this release. There's 4 separate iAwake releases that you all get as kind of a bundle when you buy this particular help track. So it's going to be retailing for $97, and I think that's a pretty good value for what you're getting. It's definitely less than what you would be paying buying the tracks individually. I paid like $67 just for HeartWave alone when it first came out, so just an extra $30 for 3 more tracks, pretty good deal. I'll leave a link to the product page in the description of the video if you'd like to check it out for yourself. If you'd like to support my channel, this is one way of doing so. I purposefully haven't monetized my channel with ads, hoping to cut back on the interruptions that you get while listening to the guided meditations that I personally produced for the channel. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments, and if I know the answer, I'll try and reply. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Baker Beltz, logging out.